Hello, 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 my friends. Welcome to today's episode all around my favorite thing, joy leadership. It is one of my absolute favorite things to talk about. And I think I just want to start off by really thanking you for being here today, for choosing out of all of the many things you could be doing with your time right now, choosing to take some time with me and tune into your joy. This is a really big deal. So celebrating you. And I just want to maybe start with even a breath together, just taking a breath. And if you can, if you're not driving and it's safe, I invite you to close your eyes and just take that nice big deep breath in, filling up with whatever you most need right now and releasing on the exhale. And again, one more full deep breath in, filling up, and on the exhale, just feel yourself landing in pure presence, pure being, and just again, thanking yourself for choosing to align with joy, choosing to get curious about what joy means for you right now. And I just want to invite you to start to get curious about what gets to be possible if you were to make your joy your number one priority. What would it look like for you to lead your life from a place of overflow rather than depletion? What does it look like to lead from clarity and presence instead of noise and busyness? From joy instead of pressure? That's what today's show is all about. Grab your favorite tea, your favorite coffee, get cozy, and dive in. Hey there, it's Jillian, your guide to all things joy, and this is the Joy Journey Podcast. Oh my God. All right. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the curiosity about joy leadership, what it gets to look like, what is the advantage? There are so many, and I'm excited to dive into all of them with you today. I want to just start off with being honest about the models of leadership that we might have all seen until now. And those models feel like they are crackling and cracking and snap, crackle popping. That old school mentality of authoritarianism, of telling and controlling and managing and hustling and toxic productivity, burnout. We see the consequences of this everywhere. People are exhausted, teams are disengaged, leaders are running on fumes. And I'm just checking in with you and how you're feeling. And first of all, do you identify as a leader in your life? The truth is, we'll dive into joy leadership, what that looks like, and what I believe that is, because I actually think that we're all actually leaders. But if you do identify as a leader, I wonder, have you felt the pressure to perform or the quiet quitting, the overwhelm, the depletion, the tiredness, the burnout, all of it? Where have you been in your leadership and what are you ready for? The truth is, leadership is shifting, and I get hired to come in and work with teams and speak to companies and communities about joy. I have a lot of high level leaders as clients who are burnt the frig out and who have everything that we could technically want in this lifetime, what we're taught to want, and are coming to me for joy because it's feeling empty. Because the truth is what we are seeking is not an outside in experience. There is no amount of doing that will compensate for your lack of self-care or the places in which you are abandoning yourself. No amount of money is actually going to compensate for that. So my invitation is for us to just get really real about what it looks like to lead from a place of overflow and what it looks like to make your joy and your energy. And really, we could replace the word joy with energy. We could also replace it with well-being. What does it look like to make your well-being a priority in your life and lead from a place of embodied alignment and abundance? And then showing up in this place of integrated presence and awareness and inspiration because you're walking the walk in your own life. And then showing up in a way that inspires others to do the same. The old way is ready to be burnt down. Literally telling people what to do, it just does not work anymore. As leaders, we need to embody what we are teaching. We need to be willing to go first. We need to practice what we're preaching in order for anyone else to follow along. This is why, for me, the practice of joy and the joy work it's involved. It's like I'm not here just preaching. I'm literally walking this out. And sometimes I'm walking alongside my students, my clients. And I'm okay to admit that because if you never wear a mask, you never have to take it off. This is a new era of leadership, which is really authentic. And it's actually, you get to show up as who you are and inspire from this place of realness like never before. And I just want to take a moment and check in with you around who you look up to, who actually inspires you, what people do you find the most inspiring in the world right now? And I'm going to bet that they're the most real people. That I know that's who it is for me. It's always the ones who are just showing up real and human. Perfectly imperfect examples of people doing the things, like showing me that it's okay to be who I am. And I'm just not interested in fake leadership or fake authoritarianism or fake anything. I'm just not here for anything that is fake or feels forced or shallow. Sha-la-la-la, la-la, lo. No, we're not here for it. We want real. We need to sing a new song. I want real. I want leaders who are willing to be honest about how friggin' hard life can be sometimes, the truth about business ownership and entrepreneurship and leadership, and just being willing to tell the truth about all of it so that we can all show up and guide from a place of embodied authenticity instead of performative, whatever the heck it is. Like, instead of pretending to be someone we think we need to be in order to have the status or the sense of success. No, sustainable success is embodied. It's real, it's authentic, it's genuine, and it's what I think the new era is. So, what is joy leadership? Joy leadership. So, what I call joy leadership is leadership from the inside out. It's the willingness to honor our feelings, own our own energy, and hold space for others without trying to rescue or fix or control. Ooh, and I know this kind of leadership I'm here to guide because I spent my whole life being codependent. I was raised in a codependent home. Bless, it was very loving, but it was also very codependent, alcoholic home where I learned to make everyone else happy around me in order to feel safe and loved. And I'm sure most people actually have this experience. This is quite a human experience. So checking in, did you feel like you had to shapeshift or mask or be someone you're not in order to feel worthy, whole, or complete? And if so, I just see you so compassionately. And I'm like, this is a great unraveling. This is what we actually get to unravel now in the next era of our own lives is, where am I pretending? Where am I pretending to be someone I'm not? Where am I pretending that I'm happy and I'm not? Where am I faking it and not making it? You know what I'm saying? I love the saying fake it till you make it because it kind of gives this sense of take those inspired actions, just show up, feel the fear and do it anyway, right? But there's an element of faking it that just actually isn't cool. And it's like, are you kidding yourself? Are you faking yourself out? And what does it look like to just honor what's no longer working? Honoring what's no longer working. So to me, loving joy leadership looks like creating containers that are brave, where people feel courageous and vulnerable and seen in the truth of who they are. It means we're speaking with compassion and directness. I call it ruthless compassion. I'm willing to risk your disapproval and discomfort because I care enough about you. I care enough about you to tell the truth. I care enough about me to tell the truth. And I show up fully in relationships, willing to speak the truth and move through discomfort, knowing that that's actually how we create win-wins, is by truth telling. It means refusing to gossip or tear others down in order to feel better about ourselves. It means actually seeing others as mirrors. Instead of judging or condemning or gossiping, it's like, I actually see you, sis, as a mirror for me. And whatever is being poked in me is actually here for me to work through. Doesn't mean we don't hold people accountable when they're doing shitty things. It doesn't mean that it's not also about them, but it's just actually, could we take full accountability for our own experiences? Could we take full accountability for the places where we are feeling poked or tender, and actually walk those truths out and harmonize those things or heal those aspects of ourselves. So we're not just constantly walking around poking the finger or shutting people down or canceling others who bring shit up for us. To me, joy leadership is about inspiring through our presence rather than dictating from fear. So it's really like, I'm going to walk the friggin' walk. I am showing up. I'm practicing joy every day. I'm I'm taking the medicine that I'm given, right? I'm actually taking my own medicine. I'm deeply committed to showing up for myself in my joy every single day, which means it's sometimes uncomfortable and I'm not always going to get it right. And that's okay too, because leadership doesn't need to look perfect. It means that I'm seeing the challenges that I experience in my life as opportunities and not just things that are here to take me down or tear me down. It's actually seeing the contrast as here to support my own shift, my own growth. And what does that look like for you? And then there's the accountability piece. It's like holding ourselves accountable to our well being so that we can be leading from a place of abundance instead of scarcity. And so, what I see a lot in, especially with healers and helpers, and most of the professionals that I work with are helping in some way, it's this sacrifice of self, the overlooking of ourselves, the overlooking of our own needs for the greater good. But actually, that's not for the greater good. As much shit is going on in the world and as much suffering as there is in the world, reaching out to fix and rescue is beautiful. It's part of our loving, compassionate hearts. But if you're not actually supporting yourself first, then you're not doing anyone any favors. What would the world actually look like if we all cleaned up our own energy and the dynamics in our own homes, in our own workplaces, in our own communities? What would that actually look like? And I'm not saying it's that we don't care about the world around us, but I actually need to honor my energy first because the world, the external experience is a reflection of our internal experience. So, where are you conflicted within yourself? Where are you at war within yourself? Where are you victimizing yourself? And how can we clean that up to show up more fully and serve from overflow, a state of overflowing energy, which to me is an abundant energy? It's actual profit so that we can profit energetically in our lives and feel this abundant energy instead of scarcity and depletion, which leads to more depletion and lower vibration and discordance and fear and conflict within ourselves. So it's where can we make ourselves, our joy, a priority so that we're actually showing up in the world in this aligned, present, more peaceful energy. And here's the thing, joy leaders go first. And that is often not comfortable. And in all of my containers, especially in the certified facilitator program, people show up and everything that they have been avoiding until now is what actually comes up and is meant to be worked through, because otherwise we stay stuck in fear. We stay stuck in playing small, in letting our fear determine how we show up in the world. And it makes me emotional. The world just really needs us to be brave and show up so fully in our truth and in our aligned, abundant energy. The world needs this. We are here to model what alignment looks like in our families and beyond. We cannot expect our children, our parents, our spouses, our team members, our clients to do something that we are not willing to do ourselves. So, what are you being called to embody is my question. And here's what I teach in Joy Leadership. I love formulas if you haven't caught on yet. I love formulas and strategies and making things so simple and easy to remember and just kind of like creating these hacks that make it so easy to actually live in alignment. I call this the Joy Leadership Formula. It is awareness plus action equals alignment. So awareness, when you cultivate awareness of what's really happening inside you and around you, and then you take small inspired actions or big, small or big inspired actions from that place of awareness, you naturally create alignment in your life. And alignment is magnetic and it's what draws people in. To me, joy is not only who we are, it's also alignment with how we most want to feel. So if we're encouraging alignment in the world, that's a really big deal. And that is going to support a lot of people around us in feeling that sense of purpose, feeling in alignment and in balance with who they really are. And imagine a world where everyone's in alignment with who they really are. Imagine that. So when we have the awareness of what's happening within us and around us, and we take inspired action that supports what we most want to create, we experience alignment. And so before we move forward, I want to check in with, where are you actually leading already in your life? Where do you identify with this example of joy leadership? Where are you leading in your life? Where are you experiencing leadership? Is it in your home? Is it in your business? It is in your community or your relationships? And what might shift if you applied this simple formula? Awareness plus inspired action equals alignment. So let's talk about walking the walk. Here's the part that people don't always like to hear, is that leadership isn't about just showing up and saying the right things. It's about living them. It's about living those words. It's about walking the walk. The world does not need more talking points. It needs people who are willing to live what they are teaching. When I chose sobriety 10 years ago, I didn't do it for anyone else. I did it because my life depended on it. And that choice cracked me wide open. I stumbled into meditation, into mindfulness, and into joy. And what I realized is this: you cannot lead anyone anywhere that you are not willing to go. And I think that's why the Academy of Joyful Living, which is what I call it, and all of the joy work is so successful. It's why people are attracted to this work, is because they know that I've walked it out. You can feel it in my frequency. I'm not bullshitting anyone. And I'm also I'm not superhuman. I'm super honest about my humanness. And I think, again, this comes back to, if you don't wear a mask, you never have to take it off. So this is authentic, inspired leadership, is me just showing up truly as who I am. Yeah, I'll put on makeup and I'll do my hair, and I'll also show up in my pajamas with my hair like a Rod Stewart. And I'll often challenge myself to do things like that. Just show up in the places that feel really uncomfortable, because I still meet the ego, the piece of me that's like, no, you have to be this in order to do this. You have to look good. You have to look put together. You have to fucking have a blazer on. Your hair has to be done. All of these stipulations. The truth is, no one cares. No one cares. Your frequency is everything. We're moving into the era of embodied leadership where it's frequency focused. And I think this is so fun and so freeing. And it's what I teach and practice and preach. I've attracted so many people into programs, and they don't know even what they signed up for. When I dig into what's going on there, it's because they can feel the frequency of it. They can feel it, and their soul knows this is going to be the place to land. And so while I love marketing and Instagram, I think it's so connective and so fun, and I get to design and all the things, get playful and be creative about it, I don't actually need it. I don't have to show up. I believe in consistency, and I believe that's a part of branding. And I actually believe branding is our energetic imprint in the world. Branding to me is very energetic. It's your energetic essence out in the world. I don't necessarily need to do that in certain specific ways. All I need to do is practice joy each and every day. Me sitting in meditation and doing my daily joy journal will actually call in more people than any post that I could ever make, because it's vibration related. And this is going to sound super wooey, but bear with me. I want you to check in with how much you actually attract into your life when you feel good. When you feel good. When you're feeling good, noticing all the good feeling things that continue to happen to you. This is law of attraction in effect. You focusing on how you are feeling will allow for what you want to come in more quickly, more easily, and in more aligned ways than pushing or forcing ever will. Joy leadership means showing up authentically, even in the messy moments. Now, I'm not saying we show up in our mess and not bubbling and expecting our community to pick up the pieces. I think my point is, it's not about being happy all the time, and it's not always about having it all together. And I think, again, maybe from my path, really just being willing to share about how messy my path sometimes is, and how I don't always have it all together, and how painful life can be. And just sharing the truth about that, I think, is more inspiring, because it's telling you and giving you permission to also lead from a place of embodiment and authenticity, which is never going to look perfect. The idea that we have to be perfect or have all our shit together or our ducks in a row before we do the thing is a lie. You don't need to have it all figured out. I have tech issues all the time. Ask everyone in the Joy Nest. Our first call, everyone showed up with the name friggin' Jillian. There was over 20 Jillians because of, for whatever reason, something that we'd missed, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I think everyone in there, tell me if I'm wrong, we had such a good laugh about it. And I think I get to show that you don't have to have it all together. And there's something really beautiful about that, about authentic leadership, about giving people permission to be who they are and still show up and share what they're here to share and still show up and shine. Joy leadership is about being real. And when you're real, people trust you. So I hope that that gives you permission to be a little bit more you. I'm wondering, and I just want to check in with this energetic, where are you sensing a gap between what you say and how you live? And I just want to wrap you up in compassion as I ask this question. Is there a gap between what you're doing and what you're saying and how you're actually living? And if there is a gap, like if you're yeah, there is. Either I hate what I'm doing, I hate the people I'm working with, or maybe you're in leadership and you're telling people to do things that you're not willing to do. Where are you telling your children, your family, your team to do things that you're not fully doing? I know that's a really rude question. It's a rude question, but it's a game changer. My question for you is, where can you close that gap? What's one way that you could close that gap right now? For me, if there have been places where I've fallen off my daily joy ritual, when we moved, it was just a lot of things and I give myself so much compassion about it, but I also will lovingly call myself out. The other day with a client, I was sharing, where's your body yelling at you and what does it look like to honor your body? And then I'm like, 100% full disclosure, I've been disregarding my body. Actually, I haven't moved in 2 friggin' weeks and I need to honor that. And so that night I ended up going to not one, but 2 yoga classes. I could hardly walk the next day. But it's just being honest. And again, it doesn't mean that you can't lead these things. It's just being honest about where you're maybe not taking those inspired actions yourself. And I guarantee you will have more potent power. You will have more of an influence when you start to do the things and simply model it rather than telling it or forcing it or controlling it. And so how can you close that gap? Maybe it's having an honest conversation that you've been avoiding. Maybe it's committing to your morning ritual instead of sacrificing it for emails or scrolling or whatever you're doing instead. Maybe it's letting someone see you in your imperfection and just truth telling. Joy leadership asks us to go first and to be vulnerable and to be honest. And yes, it takes courage, but when you embody it, you give everyone around you permission to do the same. And this is so freeing. So let's talk about how practical joy can be. It feels maybe fluffy. And I know that even the word joy is off-putting to so many people. This idea that it's like, just feeling good all the time, spiritually bypassing everything. No, joy actually requires us to feel it all. And if you're just tuning in to the Joy Journey podcast, I invite you to go back, listen to episode 1. Listen to my story about the path of joy and what that really looks like. Joy requires us to feel it all. Joy is very courageous. It requires us to be brave. It's not frivolous. It's actually deeply practical. The truth is, when people feel good, they perform better. When we feel good, the better we feel, the better things that happen for us. The better feeling things. You get what I'm trying to say? Studies on mindfulness and positive psychology show improvements in productivity, in creativity, in physical health when we feel better. I've seen it firsthand. I've worked with companies like Lulu, Fairmont Resorts, TD Canada Trust, ATB. When we bring joy into the mix, when we prioritize feeling better, it actually helps with productivity. It helps with team building. It helps with everyone working better together. Joy builds resilience. It doesn't mean avoiding discomfort. It means moving through it to get to the other side with tools that help to keep you grounded and meet life where life is at. Joy is not an escape. It is a friggin' strategy. It is a game changer. It is an absolute advantage. I literally have companies hiring me to bring joy into their teams, into the workplace. And it actually makes such an impact when you tend to how your people are feeling. when you make room for the human experience, and when you lead with humanness. If you've ever thought that joy is just soft or fluffy, let me reframe that joy is strength. Joy is steadiness. Joy is sustainable success. Let's take a little sidestep now into a practical tool, a practical roadmap, if you will, and it's called the Joy Method. Again, if you're just tuning in, we talk about the Joy Method a lot. You can definitely tune in. There's an episode called The Joy Method where you can learn a little bit more deeply about it. But I just want to walk through how practical joy actually is. Again, we're not talking about avoiding discomfort. We're actually meeting discomfort by feeling the feelings. So, step one in the Joy Method is really about feeling the feelings, all the feelings, not just the good ones. It's about feeling all of it so that you can move through it to get to the other side of it. The next step is noticing the thoughts. So, the ability to notice our thoughts actually allows us to shift them toward better feeling thoughts. But first, we need to notice what are the quality of the thoughts and where is your focus? The human mind typically will tend to focus on what's not working or what's not going well, and it will focus on what we don't want. The key is to really use the mind as a magic wand to focus on what we want instead. We want to shift our focus to better feeling thoughts. We can do this very powerfully now by setting intentions. So the next step is around setting powerful intentions, almost like declarations. What do you most want to experience? What are you actually calling in with your focus and your feelings as your compass? Next, we want to take inspired action, powerful, empowered, aligned action that moves us toward the experience we are seeking. Next, we want to focus on gratitude and what is already going well. By focusing on what's going well already, by celebrating ourselves and those around us with gratitude, it actually raises the vibration with so much ease. You don't even have to do anything. You just need to honor and expand what's going well with your focus. Appreciation appreciates. Appreciation appreciates. We also want to get excited about the possibilities, about the things that we are calling in as we shift our focus toward what we truly want to experience. We're taking inspired action. We're using our mind powerfully, focusing on what are the outcomes that we actually want. And we're practicing gratitude. And we're getting excited knowing that it's unfolding for us. Everything that we desire is an escrow for us. All that is required is for us to raise our vibration to meet those things. The last step in the Joy Method is trust. And it's trusting that as you walk out these steps, as you make how you feel your number one priority, that good things are unfolding for you. Actually, good things are unfolding. It doesn't mean that life is not going to still life around you, but it means that we get to show up more sturdily, more powerfully, more peacefully, and present in our lives. This is not a checklist that you run through once. The Joy Method is a cycle. It is a formula for feeling good. And if you're not feeling good, it's a formula for feeling better. And it is something that I recommend using every single day, sometimes moment by moment. So let's try this together right now. I want you to think of a moment recently where you felt off. Maybe it's right now. Maybe you're feeling off right now, feeling stressed, reactive, anxious, overwhelmed. Can you name that feeling and give yourself the room to feel it? Giving yourself the room to feel it and noticing what are the thoughts that are fueling that feeling? Like, where are you focused currently? What are you focusing on? What are you currently focusing on? And if you're in overwhelm, I'm going to bet that you're focusing on all the things you've got to do, all the things that are still undone. You're focusing on the stress of the things, on the needing to get the things done. And it's just like amping you, amping you, amping you. It's amping up the stress. It's amping up the overwhelm. What if you were to focus on what you want instead? What if you were to focus on what you want to experience instead? So the question is, what do you most want to experience? I'm going to bet it's probably peace or feeling better. Whatever it is, let's focus on that instead. And I want to ask you, what is one inspired action toward feeling better? One inspired action. And the inspired action might not be an actual action. It might be something like taking something off of your plate. That could be an inspired aligned action. What can you take off your plate to make more room for what you actually want to experience? Next question is, what are you grateful for? Right now, let's raise the vibration, focusing on what are you most grateful for right now, right here in this moment. And where can you invite in more ease, more flow, more trust? Noticing how you're feeling as you step into your role as the leader of your life, as you step into self leadership, as you step into honoring yourself as the deliberate designer of a life that you love, a life that feels good for you. And knowing and trusting that as you make your feelings, how you're feeling the priority in your life, that that is the most powerful leadership and the most powerful influence you could have in the world is leading from a place of well-being, leading from a place of alignment, abundance, and overflow. Gone are the days of sacrificing self to serve. Service is not sacrifice. Sacrifice is not service. The best thing that all of us could do as these loving leaders in the world is tend to ourselves and show up from a place of overflow, show up from a place of embodiment. This will inspire those around us instead of needing to rescue, fix, force, change, or even manage. I look at this in terms of even when I started out on my joy journey, when I got sober and I stumbled into meditation, started feeling so much better. Then I attracted law of attraction coach training, feeling better, better, better. And I just wanted everyone to do what I was doing because I was feeling so good. And I was telling everyone, you got to meditate. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. And they didn't love it. My family did not love being told what to do. So soon I realized actually I can't rescue anyone. And that's not even my job. The truth is that everyone has their own soul journey. They all have their own paths. And the best thing that I could do is mind my own frequency, mind my own business. Okay. Walk the walk and inspire from a place of embodied leadership. And that is where I've had the most benefit. That is where I've had the most success in supporting the alignment of those I love and those I care about in my life, my family, my community, is really just tending to myself and walking the walk. This is how we inspire. I'd love to do a little meditation if you're open to it, if you're available for it. And it's around loving leadership. And I just want to call in this heart-centered leadership, this ability to actually feel so good and lead from a place of overflow. And so if you're interested, if you're down, I invite you to close the eyes if it's safe for you, if you're not driving, and take a few moments just to get really, truly aligned with me. So getting as comfortable as you can and just taking the next few minutes to come back home to yourself. Again, invitation is to close your eyes or bringing the gaze downward if that is safe and comfortable for you. And we'll just start with a nice, slow, deep breath in and releasing with a sigh. Again, just breathing in this peaceful presence. And on the exhale, releasing whatever is no longer serving you. If you can, bringing your energy and your attention to your heart. And imagine a soft light glowing there. And which, with each breath, feel this light expanding a little bit more. Just beginning to notice the subtleties of your energy, notice how you're feeling in the body. And if you can, just gently asking yourself, how am I feeling right now? No judgment, no fixing, just awareness. How am I feeling right now? Just noticing what's coming up, noticing where that feeling sits in your body. Even if you can't name it, just noticing how you're feeling in your body. Maybe it's in your chest or your belly, or maybe it's in your shoulders, and just placing a hand there if you'd like. Just taking a moment to honor how you're currently feeling. No need to change or fix, just allowing. We're just going to sit with it for the next 90 seconds. Simply allowing, just noticing how you're feeling. The next 70 seconds, just noticing. Noticing if things are shifting or staying the same. Taking the next minute to just check in with what this particular feeling has to tell you. You can just ask it, what are you here to show me? Noticing what comes up. Noticing if that feeling has shifted at all. Noticing if just simply acknowledging it has allowed for any movement. Noticing what it feels like to acknowledge your feelings. And noticing how the ability or the feeling shifts and moves without even needing to do anything. And if you're open, just whispering to yourself quietly or inwardly, I honor what I feel. I honor my energy. Breathe that in and let it settle. And from that space, just asking a couple more questions. The first one is, what does joy look like and feel like for me today? What does joy look like and feel like for me today? And next, what do I need to feel supported as I lead with joy today? What do I most need to feel supported as I lead with joy today? Just notice what comes. It might be a word, an image, or maybe just a sensation. Taking another deep breath in and breathing that intention in. Feeling your heart expanding with the knowing that joy leadership begins here in presence, in truth, and in your own alignment, in making how you feel your priority. When you're ready, you can stretch, wiggle your fingers and toes, gently opening your eyes and coming back into this moment. Just noticing how it feels to give yourself that little bit of room. The truth is, feeling our feelings is step one in the joy method. And the reason is because most of us have been conditioned not to feel. And our feelings are actually our compass. The way in which we can lead with joy is by honoring our feelings as our guides, as our informants, getting back into touch with how we're feeling, our intuition, and allowing our hearts to guide us forward. That is joy leadership. True, honest, authentic alignment is joy leadership. As we begin to kind of wrap up today, just checking in with what does it look like to lead with more joy in your life? Giving yourself a little bit of room. What would it look like to honor your joy each and every day? We practice 90 seconds of feeling today because the truth is, a feeling only lasts 90 seconds when we just feel it. But most of us were never taught or encouraged to feel. And so it can be really uncomfortable at first. But it's noticing that as we allow those feelings to flow, we begin to get back into flow with our joy. Emotion is simply energy in motion. And what does it look like to allow ourselves to allow those feelings to move through to get to the other side? And this is what it means to be a joy warrior and a joy leader, is to be able to meet the discomfort and move through it over and over again. Meet it, move through it, and get to the other side of it. Discomfort is not meant to stop us. Contrast, or the things that don't feel good, is not meant to stop us or hurt us or harm us. It's here to show us where to revision. It's here to show us where to invite in more joy. And so if you have been feeling disconnected from your joy, or if you have been feeling like this is what you do in your life, you are that person. You are the one who sees the new way. You're interested in this embodiment. You know that authentic leadership is the way to go. If you're interested in leading with more joy in your life, in your family, your community, your team, and if you're interested in a framework, I need to share the Joy Facilitator Certification Program with you. This is a call out to the joy leaders, to the ones who are ready to lead and guide with joy. If you want to be a part of a community that's lighting it up from the inside out together, I invite you to join mine. If this feels like an F yes, feel free to reach out. I'll actually link the Joy Facilitator program in the show notes. We do have another intake that is starting right away. I don't think this is necessarily for everyone. It is an intimate program for up to 10 people. We have, I think, 2 or 3 seats left at this point. But I do feel like sharing that. I feel very called to share it because I know that the right people are meant to hear this and step forward. But I do believe joy leadership actually looks very simple, and that we are all actually joy leaders. We are all actually here to walk the walk and walk this out and inspire by courageously guiding the way, by being who we are, by showing up authentically, by being willing to meet that discomfort and move through it, by shining our light and really focusing on the ready ones, focusing on those who are here to serve, not the ones who don't get it. You're not here to convince anyone of anything. You are here to be in the fullest alignment and expression of your joy, your purpose, your passion, your power. And so, what does it look like to really just focus on that going forward? That is what I really want to encourage. I'm absolutely celebrating you. I'm cheering you on. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, yeah, I'm just happy that you're here. I'm happy that you showed up for joy. I'm happy that you're interested in leading in this authentic and embodied way. And it just makes me so excited to do this work all together. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you, and see you soon.